Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Goodwood Racecourse here on Thursday. It is the 3rd of August 2023. Gonna look at the stakes races, the group races on the program from Goodwood, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Hit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Let's look at the stakes action races 2, 3, and 4. The 225, the 3 o'clock, and the 335. Quite soft ground you saw Wednesday. The ground's probably going to be soft again, so just keep that in mind when you handicap these races. But the 225, the second race from Goodwood, it's the Group 2 Richmond Stakes. It's a Group 2 event for Class 1 horses going for a $210,000 purse race for 2-year-olds here. Field of 12 horses contesting 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the turf course. I'm going to take the 10 horse Unquestionable as a top selection. Let's go 10-1-2 in your tri-cash trifecta. 10-1-2 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection 10 horse Unquestionable. True Colt by Wotton Bassett. Aidan O'Brien trains. Ryan Moore gets the mount. Interesting ownership group here with Al Jacob, Coolmore, and Westerberg. But horses most recent outing came on the 2nd of July at the Curragh. Good ground, 6 furlongs in the Group 2 Gain Railway Stakes. And he finished second by a nose that day. And he settled well towards the front of the pack. He had a decent turn of foot. The winner had the jump on him, but he had some forwardly pace that showed a lot that day. Coming here on soft ground, where he's run on soft ground already. Coming here, he could be forwardly paced. I think he could get a good trip and win. His speed figures definitely can win against these horses. Two back on the 27th of May at the Curragh, 6 furlongs in the main race. He won by 4 1/4 lengths that day, and that day he put on a show. He was flying. He quickened up nicely. That was an all-around easy event for him that day. And then at the Curragh on the 1st of May, 5 furlongs in a listed stakes. He finished third by 2 1/4 lengths that day. It was a little lackadaisical early on, but he was closing up well late. You know, the place horse, Valiant Force, looks like he's going to be a decent horse, and his Majesty 1 looks like he's going to be a decent horse. So I think he ran a good third against some tough horses at the beginning of the season. But coming here, it's back to 6. I think he get a good trip and win. I think the one horse Jassour for Jim Crowley and Clive Cox could win. Most recent July stakes at Newmarket over the 6 furlongs on the 13th of July. He won by 2 lengths and he had the speed to win. He got up the hill well. That was an easy victory for him. Prior to that, in the Class 5 main race in Nottingham over the 5, he won by a half length. And again, small margin of victory, but he really took off clear. He's one of the fastest speed figures out of anybody. Coming here today, he's a horse you definitely want to use in your play spot. I know I will. But to recount my selection for the second, the 225 from Goodwood, it's the Group 2 Richmond Stakes. Going to take the 10 horse Unquestionable. Give kudos to the 1 horse Jassour. 10-1-2 tri-cash trifecta. 10-1 in your multi-race. The third race, the 3 o'clock, it's the Group 3 Gordon Stakes. It's a Group 3 event for Class 1 horses going for a $240,000 purse race for 3-year-olds here. 6 horses are going 2,400 meters or a mile and a half on the turf course. My top selection, I'm going to go with the 1 horse Artistic Star. I'm going to go 1-4-6 in your tri-cash trifecta. 1-4-6 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection, 1 horse Artistic Star. This 3-year-old colt by Galileo. Ralph Beckett trains. Rob Hornby gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came in the King Edward the 6th Stakes, King Edward the 7th Stakes at Ascot, a mile and a half on the 23rd of June. And the horse finished third by 6 lengths that day. And he just had a not so good trip. He kind of stalked. He had he quickened up a little bit that day, but he wanted something more. I would try him next start out on a little bit longer trip. I don't know if he's a St. Ledger horse, but I think he wants a little bit longer. But coming here today, soft ground, which he's proven he can run on, with some class relief, not the world's deepest Group 3 today, I think he'd get a trip to win. He ran before then the Derby at Epsom, mile and a half on the 3rd of June. He finished 7 by 11 lengths, and he just never was into it. It wasn't his day to win that afternoon. And then Sandown mid-May, a mile and a quarter in a Class 2 novice race. He won by 1 1/4 lengths on the demanding ground. He quickened up nice in the front end, and he went away with it. A very good race there. And even on demanding ground before that, as a 2-year-old in the fall at Nottingham, 1 mile in a Class 5 main race. He won by 1 1/4 lengths. He was drawn wide that day, but he had the speed to win that day. He's run good, fast races. Like I said, I think he might want a little longer trip in the future, but he could definitely win here, and he's proven himself on soft ground. I'm going to use him here on the ticket. The quad pod begins with this race. I think you could also use the 4 horse chess piece for Godolphin and James Doyle. Most recently in the Glasgow Stakes at Hamilton over the mile 3/8 on yielding ground, he won by 1.5 lengths. He was much the best on paper, and he did that. He won for fun in a trot, a very easy race. Prior to that, they took him to the Queen's Vase over the mile 6, where he finished third by 5.5 lengths that day, and he just was flat that day. Another horse, I think he wants to stay. but he was facing two tough horses that afternoon at Ascot, and then a Class 3 handicap at York over the mile and a half. He won by 1/4 lengths, and that day he won for fun in a trot. That was a very good race. He either wins for fun or he doesn't win. That's the thing with him. But coming here over the mile and a half, you can handle yielding ground. I would use him on the quad pot ticket. But to recap my selection for the 3 o'clock third race from Goodwood, it's the Group 3 Goodwood Stakes. Going to take the 1-horse Artistic Star. Give kudos to the 4-horse Chess Piece. 146 Tricast Trifecta. 1-4 in your quad pod. The featured fourth race, 3:35 now from Goodwood. It's the Group 1 Nassau Stakes. It's a Group 1 event for Class 1 horses, going for a $720,000 purse, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. Fillies mares only. 6 horses are going 2,000 meters or a mile and a quarter on the turf course. My top selection, I'm going to go with the 4-horse Blue Rose Sen. I'm going to go 4-1-3 in your Tricast Trifecta. 4-1-3 Tricast Trifecta. Top selection of 4-horse Blue Rose Sen. This 2-year-old filly by Churchill. Arlene Lemaitre gets the mount for Christopher Head. The horse's most recent outing came the Group 1 Prix de Diana Chantilly, a mile 5/16 on the 18th of June. The French de Oaks, she won by 4 lengths that day, and she had the speed to win. She quickened up nicely, and she put on a show. That was a very good run, getting the extra 5/16 of the mile. I was on the fence with her. I thought she wasn't going to get that extra, 2.5 furlongs, but she really took off clear. Coming to the UK today. A little tougher horses, but she's run fast races. She's run fast races on soft ground, which you want to see. I think she could step up and run against the big girls here today. 2 back in the French 1,000 Guineas, the Poulines at Longchamp, a mile on the 14th of May. She won by 1 3/4 lengths, and she put on a show that day. Very easy front-end victory. And then the Prix de la Grotte at Longchamp over the mile on the 16th of April. She won by 1/2 lengths that day. She had to be used a lot that day, but she still got the job done off the bench. And then her best races are 2 in the Prix Marcel Boussac. Winning by 5 lengths that day. Again, she's just an incredible filly. She's lost twice. That was early on her campaign. But since Dupré Mouli at Longchamp last September, she's really been getting better and better. Coming here to the UK, she could definitely win. I think a Wise Guy horse, the 1 horse above the curve for Ryan Moore and Joseph O'Brien. She's proven she can run on soft ground. She won in the Prix Corrida at St. Cloud over the Mount Quarter in late May, quite nicely by 2 lengths, going away with it. And then she won at the Curragh last summer in the Blandford Stakes. Back here to the UK, I'll give her a shot on the ticket at 10-1. She could definitely win. But to recap my selection for the 4th 3:35 from Goodwood, it's the Group 1 Nassau Stakes. Going to take the 4-horse Blue Rose Sun. Give kudos to the 1 horse above the curve. 4-1-3 Tricast Trifecta. 4-1 in your multi-race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.